Just wondering, folks, have you ever found yourself moseying through the annals of history, only to stumble upon tales so wild and wondrous they make your spurs spin? Well, you're in luck, because today we're hitching a ride back to the rollicking, tumultuous times of the Wild West. But hold your horses, we're not just rehashing the same old stories of outlaws and showdowns. Oh no, we've lassoed together 10 of the strangest, most startling coincidences that'll have you tipping your hat to the absurdity of it all. So tighten your saddle straps and prepare for a gallop through the quirky, the bizarre, and the downright unbelievable. Trust me, these aren't your grandpappy's Wild West tales. They're something much, much stranger. Let's kick off this rodeo of reality-bending revelations and see just how strange the frontier can get. The twin tragedy coincidence. In a strange twist of fate, two identical twins, separated at birth, lived lives eerily parallel to each other. Both named Jim, they were adopted by different families, but grew up to marry women named Linda, then divorced and remarried women named Betty. Each had a son, one named James Allen and the other one James Allen. The similarities don't stop there. Both Jims were heavy smokers, drove the same make of car, and even vacationed on the same Florida beach. This uncanny series of coincidences baffled psychologists and researchers studying the nature versus nurture debate. The Comet Hardy writer. Mark Twain, the famed American author, was born just 2 weeks after the closest approach of Halley's comet to Earth in 1835. Twain, who had a fascination with the comet, famously predicted that he would go out with it as well. Remarkably, he died the day after the comet made its closest approach to Earth in 1910, fulfilling his own prophecy with eerie precision. The Lincoln-Kennedy connections. The similarities between the assassinations of American presidents Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are striking and numerous. Both presidents were shot in the head on a Friday, seated next to their wives. Lincoln was killed in Ford's Theater. Kennedy was assassinated in a Lincoln made by Ford. Both were succeeded by vice presidents named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, born in 1808, and Lyndon B. Johnson, born in 1908. The eerie parallels have fueled countless theories and discussions about the nature of these historical events. The reincarnation of the Mauritania. In a bizarre coincidence involving maritime history, a British woman who missed her voyage on the ill-fated Titanic was saved from a potential disaster. Years later, she decided to travel again, but this time aboard the Lusitania, which, like the Titanic, met a tragic end. Despite the odds, she survived both disasters, leading many to ponder the mysterious forces that may have been at play in her life. The falling baby miracle. In Detroit in the 1930s, a young mother's worst nightmare occurred when her baby fell from a high window. Remarkably, a man walking below caught the baby, saving its life. A year later, in an astonishing repeat of events, the same baby fell from the same window, only to be caught again by the same man, who happened to be passing under the window at the exact moment. This unbelievable coincidence has been cited as an example of extraordinary fate or serendipity. The three unsinkable men. Charles Jovan, Archie Jewell, and Harold Bride were three men who separately survived the sinkings of RMS Titanic in 1912 and HMHS Britannic in 1916. Remarkably, all three also served on the RMS Olympic, Titanic's sister ship, when it collided with another ship. The trio's survival of three maritime disasters has sparked discussions about luck, destiny, and the will to live. The Edgar Allan Poe connection. In one of literature's more eerie coincidences, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a novel called The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, which describes a shipwreck where the survivors resorted to cannibalism, eating a cabin boy named Richard Parker. Many years later, in 1884, a real shipwreck occurred where the survivors, stranded without food, decided to eat the cabin boy to survive. His name was also Richard Parker, a chilling parallel to Poe's fictional account. The Identical Strangers. In 2004, two identical men, both adopted and unaware of each other's existence, were reunited. Not only did they look exactly alike, but they also had been living parallel lives. Both were named James, both were law enforcement officers, and both had childhood pets named Toy. Their reunion brought to light the incredible coincidences that can occur in the lives of separated twins. The premonition of the wreck of the Titan. Morgan Robertson wrote a novella titled Futility in 1898, which tells the story of the ocean liner Titan, which hits an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sinks. Strikingly similar to the Titanic disaster that would occur 14 years later. Robertson's Titan was also deemed unsinkable, lacked enough lifeboats, and carried many of the elite. The parallels between fiction and reality in this instance have led to much speculation and wonder. The Lottery of Babylon. In an unbelievable streak of luck, a Bulgarian woman named John Ginther won 4 lottery jackpots, totaling $20 million. Her first win was in 1993, followed by wins in 2006, 2008, and 2010, each from scratch-off tickets purchased in Texas. Statisticians have calculated the odds of such a feat as 1 in 18 septillion, leading many to speculate about the factors contributing to her extraordinary luck.